Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN Winged Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are so glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post. Finally, we get to talk sprint car racing.
I know. It was only, 2 months, but it felt like about 6.
It's the weirdest thing in the world because the off-season, and it's not like the off-season with Australia, Chili Bowl and everything. It's not like it's just dark. But my God, it seems like it takes forever.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you have the Chili Bowl Australia, but there's no results to look at on the internet. There's nothing to talk about. There's no Tuesdays with Postman. It's just,
come
on.
You got to have your Tuesday with the Postman. I mean, come
Gotta
on.
get
now.
my fix.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what. You need to aim a little higher on what you're spending your time worrying about. Exactly. Hey, speaking of aiming higher, during the off-season, you guys had a really, really neat weekend. Ray Evernham, of course, your husband, inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And then you guys with your Ignite charity for your autism charity went out to Barrett Jackson and raised a bunch of money. I'm telling you, that was a whirl of a weekend. So I guess congratulations.
Thank you.
What a great time.
Thank you. It was awesome to see Ray honored and to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I think that for him, that's the pinnacle of your career. You work so hard, and he had family there. He had crew members from the original Rainbow Warriors. So that was a special weekend. And then the next night to have Ron Pratt donate that car for our charity to help kids on the autism spectrum, and it went for $2.5 million. Like, honestly, when it was happening, I was unfortunately here. I couldn't go, so I'm watching on TV, and tears were running down my face. I mean, to know how many kids we will be able to help is incredible, and now I feel this sense of responsibility to do the best thing we can with that money and spend it properly.
100% confident you will. I know you will. I know it's in good hands, and just a great time along the way. Let's take a look at our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. A guy that also had a good weekend along the way in January was Christopher Bell, picked up his second consecutive Chili Bowl win. Man, he really has that thing dialed in well.
He really does, and I think my favorite part of the whole Chili Bowl was his interviews afterwards, how he was disappointed he couldn't race for the win with Kyle blowing a motor. I mean, I thought, what a true racer right there.
That's right, absolutely. We Johnny Gibson says to be the best, you want to beat the best.
Yeah.
And Christopher wanted to beat the best. Yeah. And at the time when Kyle's engine blew, Christopher was not beating the best. He was not beating Larson, whoever's the best along the way. I mean, but I agree with you. It was great, and the respect those two showed for each other was amazing along the way. Down under, the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, Corey McCulloch picked up the win. That is really, really cool for that.
Absolutely. And I don't know the whole story, but from what it sounds like, he's kind of an underdog. No one expected it. He worked really hard to get the win, and that's... I mean, nothing
Love
better
those
than
stories.
That.
Not an underdog down under, and we're going to talk to him in a little bit. Kerry Madsen won the Australian Championship. He's won it multiple times before, but the madman, I'm telling you, what a racer he is.
He really is, and I love how, I don't know when he landed in the States. I think it was quite recently, but he's on his way to Florida. I mean, there is no break.
No break at all. Yeah, I think we when we're coordinating getting him on here, he was probably in the air somewhere along the way.
The jet lag, the whole deal, and he's straight to the race car.
Really is. And the biggest thing on the Classic Ink screen printing embroidery hot topic is racing Thursday night. Oh, thank God. There's racing Thursday night here in North America. The Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions are at Bubba Raceway Park. There you have it, your Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery. Hot topics, Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery. Great t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, towels, hats, and more. Corporate events, other sports, your sprint car team, whatever you need, they have it. You can find out more at www.classicinkusa.com. We need to step away. What a show we have today.
I know.
Okay, we're going to talk to the madman, the Australian champion, but I am telling you, we're going to talk to a Hall of Famer inducted into the Hall of Fame, or will be inducted this year. We're going to start off in Pennsylvania, which is not a bad place to start either, with Hall of Famer Lance Dewease. He joins us next.
The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 27th year. Whether you're catching the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at tracks like Williams Grove, Skagit Speedway, Knoxville Raceway, Lucas Oil Speedway, or any of the 6 regional tours across the United States, you'll find the ASCS Nation racing at a track near you. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Then see the full schedule, track-by-track history, updates, and more at ASCSRacing.com.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing. Sage Fruit has been a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the last 15 years and a proud partner of Winged Nation for the last 3 years. We love sprint car racing, and we are there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
I'm Terry McCarl. One has a World of Outlaws win and has made the A meeting at the Knoxville Nationals. The other was the first one in line at the breakfast buffet once, or many times. Winged Nation with Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
Wait a minute, I hadn't heard that before. T-Mac, I mean, we're not even started,
awesome.
and T-Mac already throwing me under the bus. What's up with that? Welcome back. It is MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Erin Evernham and Steve Post, and a host of hundreds, I guess. Hadn't heard that along the way. Erin, as we roll through the off-season, and I always use those air quotes for off-season, we get news and notes and everything, and I am telling you, the middle part of January, when they kick off the Chili Bowl, they always announce the inductees into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, which is located out in Knoxville, Iowa. And I am telling you what, this year they knocked it out of the ballpark, and one of the drivers that's going in joins us on the hotline. Lance Dewease is on the line. Hello, Lance. Welcome back to Winged Nation.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
Lance, what does it mean to you to be inducted, or you will be inducted, into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame?
It means a great bit. First of all, it means I'm old. So it means that. It means I've probably been racing on too long of time. But no, it's an honor, to go in with, such greats like Steve Kinzer, Sammy Swindell, Doug Wolfgang, Fred Raymer. I've raced against all of them throughout my career, over periods. So, it's kind of an honor to be amongst all that.
Lance, will you actually be able to make it to the induction? I know it's obviously a big weekend, but there's often races that conflict. So as a board member of the Hall of Fame, I was curious if we're going to see you there.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there. I think right now our count is like 23 people coming out with us.
Awesome.
I have one of the people coming out with me that I owe my whole career to, Walter Dyer. Him and his family's coming out for it. My owner that I work for now, not Kreitz, my owner that I actually physically does a work for, Donnie Owens. He's coming out and his family. So, so far it's at, I think, 23 and growing a little bit.
That is really exciting. Lance, one of my favorite questions with the Hall of Fame inductee is, when did you find out, how did you find out, and did you do good at keeping the secret until the announcement?
I found out, I think, a day or two before Christmas. I kind of knew that was a time period that they called you because Kreitz told me when they did it. And so at Christmas dinner, I kind of told the family, and it was pretty good. The people that I kind of told in advance are people I can trust, and that they'll keep their mouth shut and not let it spill out anywhere. And most of the people that I'm around involved, they're not on the internet and anyhow, so it's it was pretty easily for the people that knew it in advance before it was announced to be quiet.
Lance, I saw that you and Kreitz just announced your tentative schedule for the year, I think 40 or so races. What have you guys done in the off season to try to maintain that success that you had last year? That was just incredible.
Well, every year, we look at things and see where, we need to be better. We had a talk over the winter a little bit about, what I thought and what they thought. And there was a couple little areas that, honestly, at the end of the year, I didn't think we were as good as we were early in the year. And he kind of agreed with that. So there's some areas there that we kind of got away from. Our engine program, no fault of Dewease, kind of, with us only having 2 motors to race all year on, at the end of the year, they're pretty worn out. That kind of hurt us, I think, at the Grove National and the Outlaw Show at Port Royal a little bit. There's those areas that we're working on and trying to be a little bit better prepared for it late in the year.
Indeed, I can imagine as you roll through those 2 engines, they probably do get a little tired out. Lance, when we look at your schedule, I think we see the standard Pennsylvania stuff, the Williams Grove, the big races at Port along the way, Lincoln along the way here. But I also see you're going out to Mansfield, it looks like. The decision to get out of the Keystone State in Pennsylvania, I know your team is not one that generally travels that far from home. Just describe why you're going there and the appeal of that.
$100,000.
Yeah, well, that's a good point right there. That is enough.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they announced it, we talked about it right away and made the decision we would tentatively plan on going to it. And, I mean, they announced it. We had rooms booked 2 days later for it, so we were getting prepared for it. I'm already, as a driver, preparing a little bit for it by watching some videos from races there last year and, trying to learn as much about the place that I can. We're working on it. It's early in the year for us, so we won't race a whole lot before that race. So it's just one of those deals that we need to be prepared. And it's not a real bad trip for us. Probably 6.5 for me, probably 7.5 or so for them. So it's not super bad.
Lance, when it gets to be this time of year, almost into February, in the past you've raced Florida, you've run probably 80 or more shows in a season. How much of an itch do you get when you start seeing results from Florida?
I get an itch, but I've done this long enough, Aaron, that I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and me and Donald had conversations about he said about going to race this race or this race, and I told him from day one. He tells me where he wants to race, I'll go race it. If he tells me he don't want to race, we don't need to race. So I kind of let all that up to him. I'm enjoying the cutback schedule. Do I wish I was in Florida some? Yes. Just because, it's wintertime and, I can't even golf up here either. So kind of everything's no good when it's just cold out. And we had snow today. So it's just, it's that time of year just like everything. But, I'll watch all the races in Florida. I get a little itchy, but it's not that big a deal anymore to me.
One of the things, and we're actually looking, those of you watching on Facebook Live, the picture we have of you, LD Shocks on the front, which you run a shock, you work in the shock business. The technology and the changes, how is that business going, and how does that help you also as a driver to understand that critical element of a race car?
Well, it's a nice business I've started a couple years ago. It's kind of like a side business between my racing and me working for my old owner. So it's a one-man operation. I'm the only person there, so it keeps me busy at times. This time of year, I'm pretty swamped right now. So it slows down during race season. I have some really, really good customers that I've built over the last couple of years that I'm happy with, and it's interesting. I stay up on some of the stuff, but it don't change a whole lot, in certain situations with the shock stuff. You just have to be sharp and be on top of what you have and what what you have is right.
Lance, when you look at your 2018 schedule, are there any races that you have highlighted? Obviously, the $100,000 to win race is important, but are there any races that have slipped by a little bit in the past, or is there anything highlighted on your schedule that you're really looking forward to?
I'd like to win the Weichert Memorial at Port Royal. I haven't won that yet. I'd like to win a Grove National for Kreitz. We've had pretty good cars, but the finishes don't show how fast we were. There's some, I want to win Tuscarora 50 again, so all those big races I want to win. That's kind of a given every year, but we just worry about one race at a time, Aaron, and, we don't go past that. And, we got plans in place for, try to make sure we're ready for the end of the year, but right now, we'll probably go test somewhere, before our first race. I think our first race right now is Williams Grove on April 7th, I think it was. So a week before the All-Stars come in. So we'll be ready. You know what I mean? They'll be ready, and we'll be ready.
Have all the confidence in the world that you'll be ready with that crew. And we can say now that it used to be the Dream Team. Now it's the Hall of Fame Dream Team with Davey Brown, Hall of Famer, Donnie Kreitz, Hall of Famer, and now Lance Dewease inducted into the Hall of Famer will be this year along the way. Lance, we're glad we kicked off the season with you joining us here as a guest. Thanks for your time, and we certainly wish you the best this season, and I know we'll talk to you along the way.
Well, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Aaron, for having me on, and anytime, I enjoy coming on, and, hopefully, it'll be a good year for everybody involved in our race team. We work very hard at, Donald Kreitz is one of the hardest guys I've ever been around working on race cars, and Davey, at his age, still going strong, still mentally strong. So we're looking forward to another good year.
Another good year indeed. There he is, Lance Dewease, National Sprint Car Hall of Famer. That sounds really, really cool.
Nice ring to it.
Really, really good along the way. So let's see. Dewease wants to win the 100,000 at Mansfield. He wants to win the Weicker Memorial. He wants to win the Tuscarora 50, which is 51,000. And the Williams Grove Open, which is 52,000.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad at all. Wouldn't be a bad season, that's for sure.
For a part-timer.
Yeah, for a part-timer, but a Hall of Famer. Yes. Oh, well. Hey, let's step away. When we come back, the madman, Kerry Madsen, I have no idea if he's down under, if he's in Florida, if he's home in Knoxville, if he's on an airplane. We'll find out because we'll talk to the Australian sprint car champion, Kerry Madsen. He joins us next.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even third lane model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is proud to announce their feature exhibit for 2018, the Salute to Champion Brian Clausen. Open May 1st through October 1st. See the race cars Brian Clausen drove during his illustrious racing career and the trophies, uniforms, and memorabilia Brian amassed while driving sprint cars, midgets, Indy cars, and NASCAR. The Salute to Champion Brian Clausen exhibit, only at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, located in Turn 2 at Knoxville Raceway.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
This is Brian Brown. She's married to one of the greatest crew chiefs of all times and my hero, and he likes beer and chicken wings. It's Steve Post and Erin Evernham on Winged Nation.
Welcome back. This has been quite the rejoins there. That's what those are called. Radio business. They're called rejoins. And man, I'll tell you what, Brownie.
You're taking it tough.
How about that? I'm getting hammered over here. I mean, my God. I mean. But that just, hey, it's going to be a good year then. It just gives me something when I walk in and kick T-Mac or Brownie in the shin. Now they know why I did it, So great stuff. We're glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here on MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. And joining us now on the hotline, wherever that hotline may take us, he is the Australian Sprint Car Champion, had a great season down in Australia. The madman, Kerry Madsen's on the line. Hello, Kerry. Welcome back to Winged Nation.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Good, very good.
Our question is, where are you? What's the last I read on Twitter? You were winning championships and stuff in Australia now, but you were headed to Florida. Where are you at?
I stopped at home in Knoxville, Iowa for the day, and head down to Florida tomorrow. I think we're going to practice tomorrow night with the big game GoMuddy.com car, and we'll do Ocala, and we're into it. Yeah.
Wow, no break. Gosh. Kerry, tell us a little bit about your season in Australia. Obviously, very successful one. A third consecutive sprint car championship. Just tell us a little bit about the success down there.
Look, still have the relationship with Canaric guys down there, which drove for over here for a few years, and we still have sponsored by American Racing down there. Anyway, make a long story short, we did about 16 races or so. We won 7, and we won three of the World Series Speed Week. We won the Speed Week title. We won the Scott Darley, 2 nights of the Scott Darley, and we won a couple others, and then we also won the Australian Sprint Car title, just being run on the weekend in Mount Gambier. So it's about as good a year as I've ever had in Australia, so it was pretty exciting.
Exciting indeed. Kerry, you're from Australia, but we've kind of documented you've become an American citizen. But what's it like now to go to Australia? Is it anything different, or is it just, it's been what you've been doing, whether you're an Australian citizen, American citizen? Or is it different going there now as someone that does spend most of your time here in North America now?
Look, not really. The biggest thing is just how the sprint car scene down there is really gets tougher and tougher every year in Australia. All the competitions definitely are stepping up their act, and I'd say the sport down there is really growing, and it's just exciting every year how bigger it gets, and just the professionalism from the teams and the tracks, and it's just, it's a real pleasure and exciting to go down there every year and compete.
Kerry, I know you've talked about in the past where racing in Australia through the winter keeps you sharp when you come in for Florida. You're right in the wheel. You're in the groove of things. Are there any cons to it? Is there jet lag? Are you tired? I mean, is it harder to switch into a different team? But I mean, obviously you had a great time, so momentum's on your side right now.
Yeah, look, I don't feel real sharp right now after flying in last night. I'm going to fly out tomorrow. I feel cooked, but there is obviously, if you're racing, that's good. But, the tyre packages and the rule packages are a little different. So it is a little bit of there is a little bit of difference it takes to get a bit used to when you get back and with the different tyres. And when you go there, it takes me a night or two to get my rhythm up right on the tyre package down there. So other than that, though, I think racing overall is still a better thing. So pretty enjoyable.
Do the Caneric team and the big game, the Go Muddy team, are they the same chassis? Do you have similar things, or are the cars, and I know the setups are a little bit different, the tires are different because of the different programs, but are your cars and engines similar or not?
We actually have a pretty much very similar engine package, which is nice. Got a great engine program for Brian Morrison, but no, the cars, big game, GoMuddy.com car, they run Maxims, where my team in Australia run Steve Kent chassis. So, look, they're very similar. So it's not that big a difference, but just the formats are so much different, and the tyre package. So it's a bit different. But we're going to get to test tomorrow night in Ocala. So a night or two, and I should be up to speed fairly quickly. I think. I hope.
Kerry, we know that your crew chief, Guy Forbrook, likes to tinker in this shop. What areas has he possibly been working on? I mean, you were great last season, but is there any area he's been focusing on in the off-season?
I haven't asked. I'm sure. I know there was some upgrades he wanted to incorporate. I'm not sure where we're at with that, but I'm with you, Aaron. I was quite happy with the package we finished with last year, so I hope we haven't deviated too much. I'm sure we haven't, but it'd just be great to get back in the seat. And I used to be at a place where, you wanted to know every little thing about the race car, but it seems to have served me a lot better lately just to get in and go. So, and especially with a guy like Guy Forbrook, you don't really have to get. He's probably not going to tell me too much anyway, so we'll see where we end up.
Indeed.
Very true.
Indeed, no doubt about it. What does the schedule, what does your schedule look like for this year as far as the big game team? How far out are you planned out? Are you in pretty good shape? What's it look like?
Yeah, obviously we're starting in Florida, and we're going to do Ocala and Volusia, and then it's Vegas. And we'll do a very similar schedule to last year, just hopefully a little more of what we did. But obviously, any of the outlaw races we're going to do is going to be great. And there's a lot of big paying races this year that aren't outlaws. So I think it's going to be a fantastic year. Obviously, we've got a sort of a schedule mapped out, but we've got the flexibility to, if inclement weather or whatever reason, we can change that quickly. So we're pretty flexible, but I'm hoping we get around 60 or 70 races in by the time we're set and done at the end of the year.
And then you can go down south and do more. So, exactly. Kerry,
we
appreciate you joining us. Get some rest, and we'll look forward to catching up here. We're headed over to Volusia next week, so we'll catch you there. But thanks for the time. Congratulations on all the success in Australia and continued success here in North America.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. The Madman, Kerry Madsen. That's the passion that sprint
Yeah.
car right there.
Yep.
Saturday night, racing in Australia. Fly home, spend a day at home in Knoxville, a day home in Knoxville, testing tomorrow night in Florida.
That's awesome.
That's a racer right there for you. Let's step away. More MRN's Winged Nation in just a moment.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery, located in Greater Pittsburgh. Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
This is Shane Stewart, and you're watching MRN's Winged Nation on MRN.com.
Thank you, Shane, and I appreciate you not saying anything bad about me on the rejoin. My gosh. Fine. I know Stewart's my buddy. I know he's my friend. So welcome back. It is we're glad you joined us here. Opening round of Winged Nation as we're set to go this year, presented by Hercules Tires. A lot of times at this time we'll talk about the Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar, and we might get a chance to look at that, but really wanted to take some time to talk. We just talked to Lance Dewease, but when we look at the 2018 class, the drivers going in, Lance Dewease, Brian Clausen, and David Steele, boy, really, really merited, deserving drivers going in there, and sadly, a couple of guys that we lost here recently.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had the chance to talk to Lance, and you could tell how excited he was, but I think seeing Brian and David inducted is going to be emotional, very emotional. And like you said, very deserving.
Very deserving for sure. On the owner-mechanic side, we got Emmett Malloy, but how about Scott Gherkin going in? I mean, that they're when you think mechanic and sprint car, it's Gherkin.
Yep.
I just think that's fantastic. Promoters and media, Bob Mays is going in, but one of our buddies.
Yes.
I'm happy for Lance. I'm happy for the Clausen family and all. And I know some of these people, and I don't know any of them. But when I saw Steve Beitler's name there with Skagit Raceway and all that he's done, I just made my day because he is a Hall of Fame person.
Yes.
You know,
is passionate about sprint cars. He was a driver, a successful driver, successful promoter. He has a huge memorabilia collection, and he's on the board for the Hall of Fame. He's just an extremely passionate person about sprint cars and deserves this.
And he had proposed to his wife in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I mean, how about? I mean, he had music and everything. Folks, you ought to see what this guy did. He had music in the Hall of Fame piped in. The Righteous Brothers, and he's overlooking Knoxville Raceway when he proposed. I mean, talk about making every one of us guys look bad. That's how good. That's a Hall of Famer right there. On the pre-1945, Oscar Dwayne Red Garnott, also inducted, and those ceremonies coming up later this year for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. On the birthday calendar, Monday, Bob Saul today, James McElreath, Frank Funk, Jerry Niemeyer on Wednesday, Frank Curtis, and Randy Martin on Thursday, Brady Bacon Friday, Craig Delansky, the crowd pleaser, Saturday, and Jimmy Bryant and Trevitt Ruiz birthdays on Sunday. But Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, and of course they're working on that Brian Clausen Tower.
It's going to be done soon.
My gosh.
Yes.
I mean, Bob Baker gives us updates on this thing, and I mean, man, if we could get the federal government and everyone else to work like they do at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, we'd have everything fixed.
They've worked in snow and ice and crazy cold temperatures.
It's crazy, but it's really going to be great. It really, truly is. Thursday on MRN's Winged Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products, we're going to kick off the All-Star season Thursday night. Why not talk to Chad Kemenaugh? Yep. Indeed. And then Saturday, this is one you got to see. MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. We took our show to Stewart Haas Racing and sat down over there with Tony Stewart. How about that?
Yeah, that's
Tony
good.
Stewart. So I'm telling you, we knocked it out here in the first week with Lance Dewease and with Kerry Madsen and Chad Kemenaugh and Tony Stewart. we're glad you joined us. We're going to be active all year long on Facebook and Twitter. Our Winged Nation website, we got some big plans over there as well, and so much fun. So, Erin, great hanging out.
Great to be back.
Great to be back. Absolutely good stuff. We do appreciate Lance Dewease and Kerry Madsen for joining us. More important, though, thank you for joining us here today.
You've been listening to Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire, right on our strength. You can also find Winged Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.